My name is Gaurav Deshpande, and I did my presentation on artificial intelligence. What? Applause at the beginning of the presentation? Please, I'm flattered, but I mean, I gotta still tell you guys about it. Please, I'm flattered and all, but sweet. All right. So, anyways, back to the presentation. So, artificial intelligence unknowingly started in the early 1920s, rather, with the Tin Man and the Wizard of Oz. It continued on in the movie Metropolis, where Maria had turned into a robot. These two movies were the start of what was to come in the development of artificial intelligence. In the 1950s, a generation of scientists, mathematicians, and philosophers had the idea of artificial intelligence in their minds. Specifically, Alan Turing, who was a young British polymath who explored the mathematical possibilities of artificial intelligence. He believed if humans use available information and reason to solve problems, and also make decisions, why couldn't artificial intelligence be able to do that? Unfortunately, Turing was not able to make an immediate impact on this because computers were light years behind the ability in order to produce an artificial intelligence. One of the first computers ever created was the Atanasoff Berry computer, which had been produced from 1939 to 1942. It was the first electronic computer which used binary as a means of storing information. And although it was quite revolutionary for its time, Onestov, who had been the creator of this computer, was recruited into the Navy and thus had never been able to leave the computer into a working condition. Computers in general before 1949 were unable to store commands and had only been able to execute them. The Electrical Numerical Integrator Analyzer and Computer, short for ENIAC or pronounced ENIAC, was the first general-purpose all-electronic digital computer. This computer was 50 by 30 feet in size and costed over $400,000 to produce. This computer revolutionized the way computers were made because it used conditional branching and power boards and computed at an extremely fast speed of 5,000 operations per minute. However, computing had been very expensive in the early 1950s, with leasing running up to $200,000 a month. Another similar computer which was used exclusively by governments was the UNIVAC, which had been a universal automatic computer, which had been produced in 1951. This computer was also huge in size, and only 48 of the machines were sold. This computer was particularly remembered historically for predicting the U.S. President to be Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Mr. Vice President, Mr. Chief Justice, Mr. Speaker, members of my family and friends, my countrymen, and the friends of my country, wherever they may be.
However, now through the period of 1957 through 1974, artificial intelligence was considered amazing. Computers were able to store more information, be faster, cheaper, and even more accessible. Algorithms improved, and people were able to correctly identify which algorithm to implement in their problem. Alan Newell and Herbert A. Simons, general problem solver, and Joseph Weizenbaum's ELIZA showed promise toward the goals of problem solving. These successes and the advocacies of leading researchers convinced government agencies such as the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, short for DARPA, to fund the artificial intelligence research at several institutions. Optimism had been high and expectations were even higher for artificial intelligence. However, the huge issue with artificial intelligence was the lack of computational power to do anything, meaning that computers were unable to store enough information or process it fast enough. The problem that was very difficult to solve was that in order to properly communicate with AI, one needs to know the meanings of many words and understand them in many combinations. Hans Moravec, a doctoral student of McCarthy at the time, stated that computers were still millions of times too weak to exhibit artificial intelligence. Patience started dwindling and funding did as well, and research started to come to a slow roll for the next 10 years.